Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock edition video. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at the top 5 best shaders in Minecraft Bedrock edition. So, if you are looking for some really good shaders in Minecraft Bedrock edition, then this is the video for you. So make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. It is all greatly appreciated. But with that being said, let's get down into the countdown. Starting off at number 5, guys. Now keep in mind, this list is in no particular order, but we got the Vexze Shader version 2. And this is a new style combinations of vert and zero shaders, and it is the 2nd edition. Now, once we hop into the shaders, guys, you're just gonna instantly notice that there is a huge change. Now, unlike most shaders, this one has a very different type of vibe. This one nearly looks like it has a filter on it, because it's just got a very looking, like, how do you say, aesthetic looking vibe to it. Another thing you will notice about the shaders instantly, guys, is sunlight plays a big part of this shaders, because if you look at the hand, you can literally see the sunlight reflecting off the skin, which is absolutely amazing. So it is kind of reacting to the sun, which is always cool to see. Everything is very bright. It's got like this kind of like a subtle yellowy, or how do you say, yeah, whitey, yellowy kind of tinge to everything. Kind of looks like a desert type of vibe, even though it's not, but it's got cool shadows as well, dynamic shadows with depth. As you can see here is a shadow, very cool, nice and dark, and it really contrasts the very bright looking outside with the very sunlighty. It kind of just looks very bright. In another way, it kind of looks like it would be a windy day, you know, windy, sunny, a little bit of tinge of clouds in the air, but the leaves are even moving, so that is quite nice to see. There is the water, guys. Now, of course, the water is flowing. You can see it gently move up and down, and it does have some texture to the water too. It has a bit of the sun glare on it, not too much, but it does show that there is a bit of light on it, and it's got the little waves, which is quite nice. You can go underneath the water. Besides the glows making a nice glow, and the top surface looking quite cool, nothing much to say underneath the water. Here, of course, is nighttime. Now, what I like about this shaders is it keeps the same type of vibe, except now it's not yellowy type of sunlight. It's more like moonlight. You know, the sky is very blue, lots of stars. There's natural bluish lighting now representing the sky's lighting, which is quite nice. Where there's lava lighting, you know, it's very bright. It's got an orangey type of yellow glow to it. Nice in between. It's not too orange, it's not too white. I quite like it very much. And kind of is very bright, so I like it. Now here is rain, guys. Also quite nice. Nothing really noticeable about the rain. There's no like puddles or anything. Yeah, a bit of a downfall there, but you know, it's solid rain. It makes the clouds look grey, so there is that. And finally, guys, rain at nighttime, you know, same thing, not much change, but you do have the little splash droplets on the ground. Finally, guys, we got the nether, a good mixture between light and dark. You know, some areas are dark, very dark, which I like. Some areas are very bright, which I like as well. So, you know, it's nothing too crazy. I don't like it when the nether is too bright, but I also don't like when it's too dark. This is a perfect blend to give you that eerie nether feel, but also not to be annoying enough so that you can't see what you're doing. So yeah, I absolutely dig it. The orangey glow is present once again in the nether, so there we go, and the shadows and stuff. So it's a solid shader, and that's why it's on the list. Alright, guys, moving on to the next shader on the list, we have the OSBES shaders, which is the open source Bedrock edition shader. So if you didn't know what it said, well, they do. It does have a cog, don't have to worry too much about that. But here we go, guys, we are in these shaders, and if you look at, guys, this one, it's got the same type of style where it's got the like glow, but this one looks more whitish, so it's got more of a whitey glow. The sky, though, it looks absolutely beautiful. How the clouds move through the sky, I love it. The nice blue, there's hints of light. The sun is absolutely nice, and I love how the glare goes through the clouds. That's really cool. There's the sun, so there's the glare, guys, so when you look at the sun, it will shine brighter. Then you got the shadows, guys, some very solid shadows here, not too dark and unrealistic looking, but still good enough to see there are shadows. Now the leaves do move, and what I like about it is there is a variety, so it's not always the same pace. Sometimes the leaf moves faster to represent high breezes or when the wind is heavy, and then also gentle for when the breeze is gentle. Here you go, same thing for the foliage. You know, sometimes it'll move fast, sometimes it'll move slow-ish. So yeah, I like the variety in the wind. Tries to make it more realistic that there's actually wind in the game. Then the water, beautiful, crystal clear. I like that there's a bit of a reflection. It's got a bit of waves, you know, it's gently moving up and down, which I absolutely love. Underneath the water, it's got a much more heavier change compared to the other ones. This one, I'd say, it looks more like what water looks like in real life when it's sunny. You know, it always has that kind of like that wavy motion motion effect at the bottom. I don't know what to call it, but you'll know if you've ever been in the ocean or water when it's sunny and you go to the bottom, you can actually see the light shining around on the bottom of the water, on the bottom of the pool or the ocean. So that is quite cool. At nighttime, just as stunning. Nice mixtures of darks and a little bit of sunset looking purple on the sides of the horizon. I would like that a lot. The moon's very bright and it has a glare. Quite nice as well. Lots of different stars, different shapes and sizes. You know, some are brighter, some are darker, some are smaller, some are bigger. I definitely like that. The glow is very prevalent. It is more of a yellowy glow and it's very bright, guys. So you can just see it kind of oozing out light, which I always love. And here we got the rain, guys. Now, what I dig about the rain is that you can actually see the puddles on the floor. So you can actually see where it's damp. You can see where there's lots of water. And once again, guys, this actually looks like what it does in real life. When there's wetness on the grass, you can like see the puddles of water. So this, I have to say, so far is the most realistic looking of the shaders I have seen. I absolutely think this has done a spot on job of replicating what it looks like in real life. So yeah, well done. And finally, here is it at nighttime. Not much to say besides that it's dark and it's raining. So yeah. And finally, we'll look at the water here at nighttime. You can once see, guys, it's carrying over what it did with the sun. The moonlight is glazing on the water or glaring, and of course the cool little motions at the bottom of the floor, which I haven't seen another shader do. So that's why I'm so fond of this one. You know, it's doing a bit of something different. The nether portal is also pink. I just want to point that out. In the nether, I'd say it's more brighter than the other one. You know, it's not as dark, which does destroy a bit of the spooky feeling. But, you know, it's still got some areas that are a bit dark, but definitely much brighter in this nether. For some reason, the lava looks yellow, so it looks like lemonade, lemon pulp or something. So yeah, not too sure what's up with that, but yeah, solid enough. It's a good shaders overall. I really enjoyed. Anyway, let's move on. Alrighty, guys, next on the list we have the Pisces, I don't know, but PE Shaders 1.5 for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, Android and iOS. But anyway, here's the next one on this, guys. Twitter Scorpio Graphic 2. Let's install this and let's take a look at it. Okay, guys, so this one now, this is one that describes me more of a cartoony vibe. The sky looks like something you'd see in like a video game, anime-ish, fantasy type of thing. It's very bright, it's very colorful, you know, the colors do pop. I must say, the grass looks a lot like what clickbait YouTubers use in their thumbnails. So that is a bonus for those of you who like making clickbait thumbnails. I mean, I personally like having very green grass like this in my thumbnails too for scubs, so maybe I should use this one too. But yeah, the leaves move quite nicely. The shadows underneath are quite cool. No depth for shadows, but there's just one type. Grass does not move. There's a bit of depth, but not too much. It's actually, maybe it's better because here it's blended in nicely. It's not just like a very dark spot and less dark. You know, here it's blended, which, you know, credits to the creators. They took some time. You know, they could have just made it one area dark, one area lighter. But, you know, it's solid enough. But I must say, this just screams as YouTube clickbait and shaders. You know, it's basic. Very basic. You know, it's not cluttered, it's clean, but it's colorful. It pops in your face, and I like it. Maybe if the sky was a bit bluer, it'd be perfect. But besides that, it's a solid job. The water, very blue. There is a bit of motion, guys. Very small. It does move inchly underneath the water. To be honest, looks like standard Minecraft underneath here. But you can see that there is a bit of movement. You know, there's a bit of motion, which shows you that the water is moving, you know, side to side. So yeah, I dig that. But the water itself, it looks like Minecraft. Here we go. We're going now into the nighttime. Let's see if it keeps its glory. Now this once again is something different. I quite like it. It's now a purple sky. The clouds are very thin, you know, have a lot of opacity to them, and they're kind of like moving throughout the sky. You know, it looks like an aurora, if I had to be honest. It's just with dark clouds. So yeah, I dig it. The clouds are cool. The stars are nice. The lighting, very orange, I must say. This looks like dark orange. You know, it looks like one of those very ripe orange type of skins. So yeah, it is personally not my favorite type of lighting. I prefer in between of yellow and white, but it will do the job. Yo, and look at the clouds. I thought those were bats for a second, but it's just those things that are trying to eat us because we never sleep. And of course, weather, thunderstorms. So let's take a look at this. So here we go, guys. We got it starting to rain. Now, you don't actually see the drops, which is quite weird. You see them droplets on the bottom of the ground, which is changed up. You know, they're not normally little balls like that. Which is quite cool. The sky does get darker, grayer, and some parts get dark. Once again, it's got that aurora type of looking clouds. So I do dig that, but I wish the rain, you could see the droplets a bit better, because this, yeah, it's okay. And it slowly fades away as well, which I mean, it's got a nice transition. I just think the rain could have been a bit better. Now, of course, once again, the pink nether portal. Here we go in the nether. Very bright, but it's also got areas that are quite darkish. So, you know, nether, as far as I can say, really, it's just a solid blend. You know, I can't really say much more than this. You know, it's a perfect in the middle type of nether. The lava, not as yellowy looking as the before one, so I prefer this. You know, it looks more like actual lava. You know, it's back to that normal nacho cheese looking type of style. So yeah, I dig that. Anyway, that's the nether. Not much more to say. Overall, I like this one. Probably the most cartoony of them all so far. Perfect for, like I said, if you're a YouTuber and you want to clickbait. It's a good, it's a solid underrated shader pack. Alright guys, next up we have the yaminRin's Legacy. Make the world as realistic as possible. So just by reading the little blurb, you're going to tell that this one's going to be about realism. You know, they're going to try and make it realistic. So I'm interested to see how they accomplish that. Alright guys, so we've loaded into the world now. Wow, this sky, it's something different. This one looks very realistic. The sun, you know, this looks like what you'd find in real life. The clouds as well, kind of real life looking. The sky as well. This is probably the most realistic of the skies, if I had to be honest. This, you know, is, if you walked outside right now and it was sunny, this is probably sunny with a bit of clouds. This is probably what you would see. You know, I like how the sun glares through the clouds. That's always nice. The grass, quite green, quite bright. You know, just around that standard YouTube standard, I would say, for clickbait. So solid there. Okay, there we got some shadows under the trees, guys. And the leaves do move, as you guys can see. The foliage as well, it is moving. Here we got some darker shadows. Quite cool. Now we move on to the water, guys. Once again, a bit of a reflection from the sky. You can see the sun very prevalent in the water, which is amazing. Like, look at the sun. It is literally in your face. Does anyone fancy a tanning session? Because wow, the water, bit of movement, very crystal clear. You know, it shows the sky quite nicely. It's got a bit more motion than the previous water. Underneath the water though, guys, ooh, wow, this looks amazing. You know, it looks very blue. I like it. It looks cool. You know, it looks refreshing. At the bottom, once again, earlier I was making a remark of how I liked the movement at the bottom, you know, the animation of the sunlight coming through the water. This one looks different, but it's the same type of vibe. You know, I love it when shaders do that, and this one looks different. So, you know, it's to each their own. Whichever, you know, style of animation you like, it's your choice. I did think the other one was a bit more realistic, but this one's, you know, with the sunlight coming through the water, but this one's pretty good. Then you got nighttime. Sky looks solid. You can see the clouds going through the sky. Very dark, got the stars. You know, it's got some twinkling stars as well. It looks dark as well. I think this does a solid job at replicating the nighttime in real life, you know, because it's always a bit of light. You know, that's just natural from the moon and the stars. As far as the lighting, yeah, I'm not a big fan. You know, it looks very washed out. It's like mucky, you know, it gives an ucky type of light, and I'm not a big fan of it. But the moonlight coming off the water is absolutely beautiful, and the orangey moon, I quite like that. And once again, you know, it's keeping the cool little animation at the bottom of the ocean floor. And I like how the arm gets slightly bluer in certain areas, but yeah. Now, as for the weather, guys, carefully watch the sky and how it becomes, you know, raining. So as you can see, the clouds are starting to form and it becomes darker and darker and grayer and dark. Now, this looks like a thunderstorm type of weather. I wouldn't call this traditional, you know, I wouldn't say this is realistic in terms of, you know, normally when it rains it's more grayer. This is very dark. This looks more like a thundercloud type of thing. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. Droplets, not a big fan. And there is no puddles, but I like the sky. Even if I don't think it's the most realistic, you know, it looks really cool. It looks like a shadow game's about to happen. So, yeah, quite cool. And the nether portal, you know, drowned out. It doesn't, you know, not very flashy with color there. But inside the nether, it's kind of bright, but I'm not a big fan of it. You know, there's the lighting, just the lighting from the blocks and the torches and that, it just doesn't really look good in this shader. So unfortunately, I have to give it there. I'm not a big fan of the nether. The lava, it just looks like it's lacking color. So unfortunately, it's a no from me for the nether. But the other features of this shader just make it so cool. I mean, the sky is absolutely beautiful, so, and the water is really cool. So just for that, it's a solid job overall. And overall, I think this is a pretty good shaders and I recommend it. Just don't expect the greatest lighting from things like torches and stuff. But anyway, let's move on to the final shaders. And finally, guys, for the last shaders of the day, we have the Ultra Realismo shaders version 1.3. This is more realistic graphics made by the Alexander and Ultra Realismo. And there's their Twitter and YouTube. So anyway, make sure this is installed. This one has the card, guys. Wow. This one has super clouds. This option brings 2 layers of clouds to more closely match the super duper graphics pack, which you can turn on or off. The option only has cloud cover for players who don't like cloudy skies. Let's put it to the coolest, I think the top one, because yeah, that sounds cool. Alrighty guys, so we're in the shaders. Now, everything I said before kind of drowns out now because I like this one the most. You know, it doesn't look realistic, I'll be quite frank, but what this does remind me of is it reminds me of those kind of pixel games, you know? All those pixel art type of games that have that cool looking blue sky. Like, this is absolutely beautiful, and this is, you know, I wouldn't mind if this is what the sky looked like in actual Minecraft. I just love how it's more, you know, neon blue there, and then it's kind of got darker blue in the clouds. You know, not realistic whatsoever, but it looks so cool. And the fancy dance, the fancy duty, what, graphics, something, whatever it's called, with the 2 double layers of clouds, it makes it so cool. I must say that is a great feature. I like how there's distant clouds in the top and then the bigger clouds at the bottom. As for the grass, love the green. You know, it's a solid YouTube clickbait green, and the sky is absolutely beautiful. So this just screams perfect to make thumbnails. A little bit of a touch up in the settings of your thumbnail creators, but overall it's solid just off the bat. The shadows, they look quite nice. You know, there is movement of the leaves and the foliage, so solid there. There is depth for shadows, so some areas are darker than others, which is always nice to see. It means they have taken their work on the shadows. Like I did say earlier though, I credited the one for the seamless blend in of the shadows. I must say here, it's not as seamless, you know, it goes from a really dark to a very, you know, less dark. So, yeah. Shadows are still cool though. I like that it has 2 depths of shadows, which always adds more depth to the whole game. But once again guys, look at that sky. Oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful, and it looks like something taken straight out of one of those pixel art games, as I said. Here we go, we're now going to check out the water, or the water. Now it does have a little bit of movement, guys. It kind of like wobbles. It doesn't really move up and down, it just kind of bobbles. Under the water though, once again, this looks really cool. The light is just glistering through the water. It's, you know, you can see the light moving. The water is kind of got a motion, you know. I love it. I think it's absolutely stunning, you know. It's up there with the other 2 that I talked about for solid water. Now we go to nighttime. Excited for this. And nighttime, guys, once again, very beautiful. I probably prefer the daytime. It's probably not my most favorite nighttime out of all the shaders, but still really good. There is the moon. It's very bright. I like how the stars twinkle. That's always nice. And, you know, it's a bit of a different sky. You know, it's very blue. The clouds are blue. It's quite darkish, but it's still got the bright sky, so you're not in total darkness. The lighting here is a lot better than some of the others that we just saw. It's got more of an orangey glow, but it's not too dull and it's not too bright. You know, it's a solid option. Still, I prefer generally something in between, but, you know, sometimes an orangey glow is pretty cool too. So, you know, I dig it. Now, as for the weather, nothing too special here, guys. It does get a little bit grayer in the sky. There is no puddles. So, unfortunately, as amazing as this shaders is, it kind of does lack in the weather department. Because if I'm being honest, this is very stock standard compared to some of the weather that we saw earlier. So, yeah, if it had darker skies and maybe some puddles, then I'd say it's pretty cool, but yeah, over here it's just average. Once the sky comes back, then it's in its glory again. Then it's like, wow. And now, guys, we're in the nether for the final time today. This one, I'd say, is a good blend. You know, it's got some bright, it's got some dark. You know, it's in between the middle, which is always cool. You know, I like it when it's a mixture. Some areas dark, some areas bright. And the lighting, of course, is not bad compared to the previous one. So overall, when the lighting's not bad, it just instantly makes the nether already better. So there you go. There's the lava, a little bit yellow, as I complained about earlier, but I guess you can't win every time, so it is what it is. But other than that, it's a solid nether, and generally it's a solid shader overall, and I think that sky is just like, wow, once again, guys. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the top 5 shaders today. Comment down below if you enjoy them. I really enjoyed this. Like, bro, this scene right here is a thumbnail beauty. Like, this is just perfect for making thumbnails, and I may have to download for myself. But anyway, tell us down below which was your favorite of the shaders. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. This took some time to pile up, so we'd appreciate any support on it. And anyways, download links to all the shaders are in the description below, as always. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.